Hi there and welcome to this video on collecting like terms. I'm just going to look at a couple of exam questions and try and give you a quick guide as to how you might answer them. So, simplify. So we're collecting like terms, so anything that's the same we can put together. So in this first example all the letters are the same, so if you have the same thing added together then you have 4 of that thing, so we can write equals 4C. So if you're just adding the same thing together then you've got 4 of them, which you can just write as 4C. This obviously means 4 times C, but you cannot write it this way round, so make sure you've got the number first. So that's when we're adding the same thing together. Now if we times the same thing together, what we do is we write this using a power. So p to the power of 4 tells us that we've got p written 4 times and times together. Okay, now this one is a slightly more complicated version of this one. So we've got 3 G's and then we add 5 G's, so we've got the same thing and we're adding them together. So if we've got 3 of something and then I add another 5 of those somethings, I've now got 8 of those things, and those things are G's. Okay, so with this one it may help to remember that we can write multiplication in any order. So just to show you what I mean, 2 times 4 is the same as 4 times 2. So that's an important feature of multiplication. So if I write this like this, 2 times 5 times R times P, these two are exactly the same, they're just written differently because this means 2 times R and this means 5 times P. So I've just written the multiplication like this. Now 2 times 5 we know is 10, and R times P we can just write as RP, because in multiplication with algebra we don't need to write the multiplication sign and it's known that that is multiplication. So this means 10 times R times P, which we write 10 RP. And again, it's important that we have the number first. The order of the letters doesn't matter, so I could have 10 PR. That's equally as okay for the answer as 10 RP is. So I could have either of those answers, but again remember that we can't have the number at the end or in the middle like that. Okay, next one. So simplify these expressions. So we've got BC, BC and BC. So just consider that as being the same. They're like terms. So that is the same as that and the same as that. The only difference is how many we've got. So we've got 5 of this thing, BC, and then we add another 2 of them. So that's 7 of them. And then we subtract 4 of the same thing from the 7. So we had 7 BCs and then we take away 4, and that leaves us with 3 of those things, which is BC. So again, this one, we're looking for the things that are alike. You can see we've got different letters here. So think of the things that are alike. So we've got 4 X's here, and then we take away 2 X's later on. So we started with 4 X's and then we took away 2 X's, so that leaves us with 2 X's. Right, we've also got these Y's. We've got 3Y there, and then we add 2 Y's later on. So we started with positive 3 Y's, and then we added 2 Y's to that, so we've ended up with 5 Y's. Now, I've deliberately written it like this at the moment because I've seen this where students write these things out and they don't include a sign. Well, we had positive 2 X's, we don't write the plus sign there, but to show that we're also going to add on 5 Y's, we must put the sign plus 5Y between the two. So do make sure you do that bit. And again, it doesn't matter if I wrote that in another order. I could have 5y plus 2x. This one's similar to one that we did before. We're multiplying the same letter together. So we've got m times together, and we've got 3 m's written, so the power of m is 3. This one's similar to one that we saw earlier, so I'm going to write out the multiplication with the non-letter part together, and then the letters times together. So I've got 3 times 2, which is 6, and n times p is just np. So 6np, and I could write that as 6pn, but I must have the number at the start. Right, last 2 then. So again, this is where we're really looking at different letters and we've got to collect like terms. So we've got A's here, and we've also got B's. So identify the two different items you've got. So I've got 3 A's, and then later on I subtract 2 A's. So 3 of something, take away 2 of something, leaves me with 1 of something. Now, when we have 1 of something, I don't tend to write the number there. We just leave it like that. We just leave it as A, but that means 1A. And then we've got 4 B's, and then we take away a B to give us plus 3B. Last one. Now, in this one, it looks like we've got the same thing because we've got X and we've got X here, but this is X squared. Now, if you've got something squared and something without the square there, treat them as if they're completely different letters. So we're going to treat X squared as if it was Y or B or something different to X. But it's important that you don't mix these two together. So I've got 5x squareds, and then I take away 3x squareds, leaving me with 2x squareds. And then I've got 2x's, and I later take away an x to give me 1x, which we just write as just x, so add x. Anyway, I know that was a quick fire tour there, but I hope that's helped.